Well, a night where former champions exited the tournament. Talk about the UEFA Champions League, including 15-time winners. Well, let's indeed go straight to Europe, where I've got some interesting panelists that will be joining us to take a look at action from the UEFA Champions League tournament last night. Busola, I understand, is in London, is a football intermediary. We also have Benny Turu. He's in Italy, and that's someone who knows so much about Internazionale Milano. And what about Thomas? He's also in Switzerland at the spotted time. Thomas seems to be crisscrossing the whole of Europe. Thomas, Busola, Ben, it's nice to have you on the program Sports Desk.
Me, and always a pleasure to be on the program.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be back on Sports Desk. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much. Same here. Always a pleasure.
All right, Thomas, let me start with you. Were you shocked with the fight being put up by the Bavarians? Talk about Bayern Munich against Internazionale Milano at the San Siro last night.
Yes, indeed. It was a very, very close game. I know that Bayern is very, very disappointed. Bayern really wanted to have that final at home. They had big, big hopes, and they were all dashed last night. And to be honest, it was for them a bit unnecessary because they know they had more chances, particularly in the first leg in Munich. And even yesterday, they had... they've even scored. We're seeing the goal now by Harry Kane. Things were looking not too badly for them. But then, as always, I think their defense is currently really not at the best. Of course, they're missing Manuel Neuer. They're missing Upamecano. They currently just have too many injuries. Of course, Musiala as well could have helped to also score. But yeah, they don't have the full squad, and I think they were clearly exposed again by the lack of I wouldn't say the lack, but just that their defense is currently not able to really compete against the highest top clubs in Europe.
Ben, the match was played at the San Siro, Italy last night, and like they say in the tournament of this magnitude, once teams get to the semi-final stage, anything can happen. These four clubs are favorites at the sporting time. But then, how much do you fancy the chances of Internazionale Milano going forward in the tournament?
Thank you very much, Mia, for that question, because you can see that Internazionale is a team that has been built over the couple of years by Inzaghi, and a very experienced general manager who came from Juve, and a very, very experienced sports director, Azilio, who were able to get, if you look at what they do at Internazionale, they get players who are quality. They may not be too young, but they give them 3 years contract. They'll be going out of their contract. So I'll tell you something, Internazionale is one of the favorites to get to the finals for me, because the way the team is built, don't forget, they are going for the treble as we speak. Only the second time. Yeah, because they are in the semi-final with AC Milan for the Coppa Italia. They are first in the league, 3 points ahead of Napoli, and they are doing well. But let me tell you the advantage they have.
Okay.
They have a very big squad. And the squad is full in depth with experienced players. Just look at it. People like the Dutch central defender is out, is in the bench. Even sometimes Thuram doesn't start in the league. He didn't start for a couple of weeks, but that's to show you the depth in strength that's in Internazionale. So I see them. I'm looking at them like a team that will make the final. And when they scored that last goal in the Bavaria win, the 2-1 win, I said this would be an uphill task for Bayern Munich, even with their inconsistency in Bayern, and of course, like the last speaker noted, they have some injury problems. But Internazionale is a well-grounded team, full of experience.
Well, Busola, let's talk about the London team, Arsenal Football Club, and how they dumped 15-time champions. They are also the holders, Real Madrid, out of the competition. It's been 16 years since Arsenal played in the semi-final of the UEFA Champions League. On the business side, beating Real Madrid, in total, Arsenal must have made about £100 million so far from the ongoing UEFA Champions League in terms of revenue and all that, Busola?
Yeah, just like you said, it's been 16 years. The last time Arsenal got to the semi-final of the Champions League was in 2009. I would say congratulations to all Arsenal fans in Nigeria and especially Arsenal fans in TVC as well. It was a very, very good game for Arsenal, to be honest. They had their game plan even right from the blow of the first whistle. The game would have been done and dusted if Saka had not lost the penalty he had. Unfortunately, that is football. Madrid came out, they had the better possession, they had 66% possession, they had more shots in terms of total shots, 18 to Arsenal's 12, but Arsenal had 6 shots on target and very, very perfect. They did very well. Even if that game had a third leg, I would not see Real Madrid scoring. I would say looking forward to Arsenal against PSG. The good thing is that Arsenal is also playing the first leg at the Emirates, and a team that plays the first leg, they normally have a very, very good advantage. So if Arsenal can do what they did to Madrid, maybe get the first leg 2 or 3-0 advantage before they go for the second leg, then I can see Arsenal getting to the final as well. And I would say Arsenal, they've defeated PSG in the group stage as well, 2-0. So I think PSG is very, very beatable at the moment.
Well, Busola, you don't have to answer this question, but my producer is kind of distracting me. You said you made mention of a third leg. Whatsoever that meant, well, it's left to what it is. But then in football, we have the first leg and the second leg. But now let's take a look at the whole pairing as far as the semi-final stage is concerned. Paris Saint-Germain against Arsenal Football Club, and you have Internazionale Milano, who indeed will also face a big test against Barcelona Football Club. I'll come back to Thomas at this stage. Thomas, disappointment for German fans, just like it was in 2012. The Bavarians were hoping to play in the final in front of their own fans. But taking a look at this pairing, who are you tipping to make it to the final of the 2025 Champions League tournament?
Yeah, that's a very good question. If I knew, then yeah, I would say no. I think Benny mentioned it just a bit ago. I do see Inter really has the capacity to reach the final because they can clearly expose the few flaws that Barcelona has, particularly in their defense. I think Inter could have the perfect game plan against them. So I would, even though Barcelona may still be slightly the favorite, but we clearly saw them exposed now in Dortmund as well against a team that plays strong attacking football. So I personally would say Inter can make the surprise and indeed reach the final. And Arsenal against Paris, I see a clear 50-50 game. It's going to be a super exciting tie.
Stick out your neck, Thomas. Stick out your neck at this point in time. Pick one, Arsenal, PSG.
Okay. I pick Arsenal.
Arsenal. So, Thomas going for Arsenal and also Internazionale Milano. Ben, let me come to you. Who are you tipping to make it to the final of the 2025 UEFA Champions League tournament on the 31st of May at the Allianz Arena?
Like the prognostics says right now in Italy, you can see from what Thomas just said. I think I will go with him because Internazionale Milan has a very large squad with experience. And don't forget, Arsenal is a bit of a surprise to me. And I must give kudos to Mikel Arteta because Arsenal has no recognized striker to speak. No striker. They are injured, right? But the team with Saka, the golden boy, back is doing wonders on the pitch. So I would tip Arsenal and Internazionale Milan for the finals. This is what I see also.
Arsenal, Inter once again. Well, Busola, you are in London. Should Arsenal fans start dreaming of another final appearance just like they did in the year 2006 against Barcelona? But then the semi-final pairings, 2 teams, you will be tipping to play in the final at the Allianz Arena.
I would say on paper and with bookmakers, it should be Barcelona and PSG. But realistically, it's going to be Arsenal and Inter.
Arsenal,
definitely.
Inter. All 3 going the way of Arsenal, Inter. Let's keep our fingers crossed and all eyes will be on the semi-final of the UEFA Champions League. Let's indeed turn our attention to the UEFA European Conference League, and a lot is indeed happening in the UEFA Europa League tournament. Manchester United season is on the line when they host Olympique Lyon in their Europa League quarter-final second leg later tonight. The tie is finally poised at 2-2 following a dramatic conclusion in France last week. Lyon will be having their match later today at Old Trafford. You can call this Act 1, Scene 2. Act 1, Scene 1 ended 2-2, and then it was indeed a dramatic end in that encounter. In Spain, Rangers will travel to play Athletic Club Frankfurt, the former club of Austin J.J. Okocha. So good he was named twice. They'll be up against Tottenham Hotspur. Lazio were beaten in the first leg by Norwegian side Bodo Glimt, and you have interesting games lined up. In the Conference League, Chelsea are hoping to take a huge advantage as far as this tie is concerned. They won the first leg away from home against Legia Warsaw. Tonight it will be at Stamford Bridge. So 3-0 from the first leg. They're almost home and dry. Fiorentina will also be in action. You also have Rapid Vienna in action. But quickly, let me go back to my panelists at this point in time. Busola is still there. I still have Thomas there, and not forgetting Ben Itoru. Ben, let me start with you at this stage. The Italian sides are not doing too badly. You have Fiorentina, you have Lazio, all in action later tonight.
Yeah, it's been a reputation this past couple of seasons that the Italian teams come very far, even in the Europa and the Conference League. Don't forget, Roma won the Conference League already with Mourinho, and Fiorentina are two-time finalists, and we are unlucky not to have won it with their former coach, who is at Bologna and Italiano. But let me tell you something. The Lazio was a very bad sleep, because I think Lazio, they took their eyes off the ball when they went to Norway. So I think they want to call that will be the uphill task, because with Fiorentina, I think it's home and dry. So I think the Lazio one is one to watch, because Bodo Glimt from the Norwegian Championship is a team that they are just coming into their season. They are just 2 months into their season. And for them to beat Lazio 2-0 at home, it could be a tricky one. So let's take a look at that and see what happens with the fixtures. But I am tipping Lazio to come back, and I'm tipping Fiorentina, of course, to go ahead for the Italian sides.
Well, let's go to London and talk to Busola at this stage. Busola, talk about the team based in West London, Chelsea Football Club precisely. They played last week in Poland, and then they got a good first leg advantage, 3-0. And some are saying that Chelsea are also one of the favourites for this tournament, looking at how they've dominated Europe in the past years. What's your take on tonight's game and Chelsea's chances? I
think for Chelsea it's going to be a walkover. We saw what they did in Poland, and I won't be surprised if they win as much as 3-4-0 at Stamford Bridge. I would predict Chelsea getting to the final of the Europa Conference League. I don't think they can win it, and I hope they don't win it, but I wouldn't be surprised if they get to the final, because on paper and realistically, they are one of the best teams in the Conference League at the moment. So probably just Real Betis would be the team that would probably be able to compete with them in the final. So I see Chelsea going through definitely to the final or through to the final.
Well, let me talk to Thomas at this stage. Thomas, let's take a look at some of the big names who had some bad outing in the first leg. Lazio will be up against Norwegian side Bodo Glimt. Not so many people expected Lazio to lose the first leg by such a score margin, even without scoring, away from home. But they will be in Italy later tonight. In the first leg also, Spanish side, Athletic Bilbao. They played against Rangers. And Rangers, they've had some difficult opponents in the course of the tournament. They had a red card early on in the first leg, but it still ended goalless. Let's take a look at some of these games. What's your prediction?
biggest surprises so far, of course, Bodo Glimt. It's incredible. It's a super, super tiny club with an extremely tiny budget. And really, like, even that they reached the quarterfinals is like a pure football miracle. And that they then destroyed Lazio by 2-0. They could have even scored a couple more goals. They played really impressive, high pressing, attacking football. So to me, it's still by far the team of Europe currently, if you look at the possibilities that they have. So if they also manage to survive the game tonight in Rome, then they are definitely the biggest European football surprise this year. So yeah, let's see. But yeah, as also Benny mentioned, the power at the Stadio Olimpico may be too big for them. But they've also survived in Greece against Olympiacos, a very difficult atmosphere. So I wouldn't be surprised if they make it tonight. Yeah, and I think Bilbao, the game that you mentioned, they know they want to badly reach their final at home. It's their biggest dream, and we all know the supporters of Athletic Bilbao are extremely crazy. So I think they've been dreaming of this since last May when they secured the Spanish Cup. So I think they will definitely give everything tonight, and I expect that they, with their home advantage, that they will qualify. And then I think Frankfurt Tottenham, to me, is gonna also be a very exciting even game. I think the experience and the current shape and the home advantage will make it for Frankfurt. That's my prediction. And United against Lyon. Sorry, yes. I'll stop here.
No. Go ahead. United against Lyon. I was going to take the three of you on as far as United Lyon is concerned, because it seems the glory days are gone. For fans of Manchester United across the globe, they all remember glory Manchester United. But what is happening to the glory days of Manchester United? Is it about the players or those running the club?
Who starts?
Go ahead, Thomas. Start, Thomas.
Yeah, I think we will probably have to have an own analysis of that. I think it's a big mystery, but I think it's probably a bit of everything. It's very poor management. It's poor squad planning.
Okay.
I think there's many elements involved.
All right.
Yeah, I think let's leave it here.
Busola, what do you think is wrong with Manchester United?
I would say the problem started from the management. They don't have a standard style of play. They've just been recruiting players that don't suit the style of United. A team needs to have a certain style of play. They need to determine if they want to invest in young players and hope for them to develop and become superstars and sell them, or if they want to invest in big names. They tried as much as possible. They tried to bring players like Casemiro, who had won everything in Real Madrid, coming to United, and at the end of the day, he could not really do anything for them. And at the end of the day, he was getting so much salaries and he got benched. So I think the major thing is that the management has been a problem. And now, I don't know if you are aware, there's been so much job loss in terms of the non-playing staffs. About 250 staffs were made redundant recently in United. So I think it's just a lack of planning that has affected football being played on field. But against Lyon today, they know that this is their only chance of getting a silverware. They played very bad last season, but they won the FA Cup. So I think even if they've had a very bad season in the Premier League, they've had a bad season in the FA Cup. If they can win the Europa League, it will be like a consolation to a lot of United fans all over the world. So it's going to be a very tough game tonight, but I would see them going through to the semi-final.
Well, time not our friend on the segment. I must say very big thank you, Ben, Itoro, Busola, Akinyemi, and also Thomas, for joining us live on the program to indeed dissect happenings as far as European football is concerned. Many thanks to you all, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
All right,
Yeah,
bye.
bye.
Just gone by is the panelists who took a look